She's April.
And she's Molly.
And we are...
the Book Besties. Middle schoolers don't really appreciate my sunshine and rainbows.
CRAPP, a charity for dung beetles.
We can just yeet them out of the houses. It's fine.
Nothing going on in there, man. Like, hollow.
We know people who know people.
Let's go to jail. Fuck around. Hey, I sound normal. Like, I sound normal.
Guys, if you have not listened to the last couple of episodes to, like, know what shit has been going down, Molly has not been with us for a few weeks because she's been recovering from COVID. And Molly, I missed your face.
I missed your face.
So when Molly had the idea for this podcast, the whole point of doing this was because we live in different states, which is still true, even though Molly has moved. And we're closer now. Yeah. We still haven't seen each other in person yet because she got the vid. But,
fuck my life, right?
But, like, the point was that we could spend more time together. Yeah. And then I went from spending, like, an entire year with you every week to not seeing you. And
I was in one of the highest COVID states during the pandemic. Never once got it. And I come to the lowest rated state, and my husband brings it home from work. What a fucker,
I know. What luck you have.
What a fucking A. I am still having, like, some of, like, the fatigue, but that's also, like, my RA, so...
Yeah. You sound so much better, though.
I do. I'm having, like, the allergy symptoms, right? The runny nose and crap still, but I think that's going to be for a little bit. As long as I don't get a sinus infection, we're going to be good.
So are you, like, a Marylander now? Is that what they call people from Maryland? I don't even know. Are you, like,
I tried today!
What? What did you try to do?
I had my driver's license scheduled today, okay? So I went to go get my driver's license. And Maryland has all these rules about the driver's license. You gotta have this, you gotta have this, you have 3 forms of ID, your former early driver's license, and 2 pieces of mail. I had all the things, but one piece of mail. 2 pieces
of mail, like
my name.
2 pieces of mail, like blue, like bills?
Like, it could be bills, it could be junk mail, it could be anything. Just my name with the new address. I had 95% of everything.
That's still an A, Molly.
But not for the DMV. It's fucking everything or nothing. So I go, can I pull up, like, a bill on my phone? And she goes, no, I have to scan it in. And I go, can I print it here? And she goes, no. And I go, oh, okay. She goes, I can schedule you next week. And I go, not tomorrow? She's like, no. Like, she didn't want to do it tomorrow. It wasn't that her schedule wasn't open. When she was like,
nah, I don't feel like it. You're going to have to come back next week.
She has been at the DMV so long that she's just, like, fucking over it. If you know what? That's your punishment. You drove Molly, 40 minutes here.
I'm pretty sure when you've worked at the DMV for an hour, you are already over it.
But I came prepared. Like,
you did not come prepared because you didn't have 2 pieces of mail.
I came prepared-ish. Like, I'm prepared adjacent.
Oh my gosh. So, it's the end of the year for me.
Praise Jesus. End of the school year.
This week that we're filming is the week before the last week of school. So this episode is premiering. I will only have a few days left and the year is over for summer. So I have some interesting news that I can only give half of the news right now. I can only give half.
Interesting. Adjacent? News adjacent.
It's a teaser.
It's a teaser. Spoiler. It's a teaser trailer.
I have been applying for new jobs since spring break. Well, actually a little bit before that.
Yeah,
it was before that.
You have interesting opportunities come your way, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I've been applying for jobs. I've been in a school library now for 2 years, but that's not really my background. Like, I'm a public librarian.
Yeah.
And so I've been wanting to transition back to that. So I have a new job, but I can't talk about it all the way yet. What I can say is that I will not be back in school libraries next year. I'll be going back to the public library, which I'm very excited because I miss doing story time and wearing tutus and rainbow crowns. And,
I mean, Miss April is one of your personalities.
She is.
She is one of your personalities.
Middle schoolers don't really appreciate my my sunshine and rainbows. So I've put in my notice, and I can't say all the things yet, but a few weeks ago we mentioned that like Molly and I have a lot of life stuff going on, and this is one of my life things. I just had to wait until contract renewals came out so I could actually, officially do that.
Yeah.
And so I will share more about the new job.
Season 3.
I think that's great. Season 3.
Which
actually only starts in a few weeks.
Right.
But
we're not saying when in season 3. We're just saying season 3.
Molly, did you listen to last week's episode with
Katie?
Oh
my God. Katie was so great. I appreciated it so much.
Great.
She was so funny. Y'all were hilarious. It was a great episode. It was a great episode.
After we filmed, I think we were just stayed on and video chatted for like another 30, 45 minutes, something like that. And it was just so fun. And she's
Don't get used to it. This is my jam. I love you, Katie. My show. Well, our show. But you get my point. Don't get too used to it.
Oh my gosh. It's just
Can you tell I'm the oldest child?
I mean, I am too. It's just interesting because she's become such an important part of our lives. Like, you and I have been in a group chat with her now since August?
Fuck. No.
Last year?
September? October?
No, it couldn't have been because I think we did my sister's keeper. I think we did it in August of last year.
Shit.
So it was season 1. It was really early in season 1.
It's our anniversary coming up.
Aww. And so we've just this past year has been this group text that literally some days is the only thing that gets me through the day.
I literally just dumped a huge struggle bus on you guys today.
Yeah.
A huge struggle bus on you.
Yeah.
And I'm still I have to call my sister about that even. I just.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But it's interesting to me because now I just can't imagine her not being a part of a group text. I don't.
Right. I feel like we are three. This is such a weird. We're a 3-sided die. There is, you get tough love from me.
Mm-hmm.
You get full warm support from her, and you give us the panic when we need the panic. You're hey, don't forget to worry about this. And we're yes, we need to worry about that.
I still think, even though I'm not the Harry Potter fan, you two are Harry Potter fans, but it's very clear to me that she is Hufflepuff and you are Slytherin and I am Ravenclaw. We just need a Gryffindor.
Absolutely not. They'll get us. I'm the troublemaker in the group. We do not need a worse troublemaker.
We can just yeet them out of the houses. It's fine. By the way, Sam says yeet now.
Aunt Molly approves.
He likes it when I throw him in the pool. And so he's like, Mommy, will you yeet me in the pool? But, he just turned 6 yesterday. So when he says yeet, it's will you yeet me? And I'm like, will I what?
Sounds like
you what?
I'm not a cannibal kid.
All right, so I'm sorry. I'll let you take back over.
So this week we are covering Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. Oh my goodness, this book.
So this is week 2 of our Pride series. And look at my eyes. If you're watching on YouTube, I have rainbow eyeshadow on today. Molly has a rainbow flag. Or fan.
Fan. I mean,
words.
It's as big as a fucking flag, man. It's for my pits. Don't worry about it, guys.
Gosh, Molly. And last week, Katie talked about her work
Trevor
Project. Yeah.
Don't forget to donate, guys. Like,
yeah,
the Trevor Project is so important. There are so many, which there is a couple of that I participate with that I'll talk about next week on Gunkle.
Okay.
That is more of that helps with trans youth and finding them safe havens.
Perfect. We'll post Katie's fundraiser for Trevor Project again below. I went to the Trevor Project page to just like share that with our pod audience as well. And they have a tap 3 times and it escapes the page, which is so
beautiful and
clever
so
and wonderful for those LGBTQ youth who are in unsafe situations but need to find themselves. And so props to the Trevor Project. Like
we've talked about this before. We have suggested books when it comes to talking to your kids about being a part of the Alphabet Mafia. But if you don't remember those or you don't remember which episode it was, feel free to reach out to us on socials, DM us, email us at bookbestiespod@gmail.com. We will be more than happy to help you find resources.
Right.
We're pretty good at that shit.
And I mean, I am walking around school right now rocking rainbow eyeshadow because I'm an ally and I want the kids to feel safe, you know?
I mean, it's important.
So let's talk about boyfriend material. Molly. This book.
Oh my God.
This book and The Love Hypothesis are my 2 favorite that I've read this year so far. And definitely my 2 favorite of season 2. And I can't decide which one I like more, but they're
both books you picked.
Oh, I know. Well, okay, so I picked this one, but you're actually hosting because of the whole job change situation that we'll talk more about.
I mean, it's end of school year. It is chaotic.
Yeah, I'm losing my mind. Like,
yeah. How about
if you're a teacher and you're listening to this, you just understand. Like,
yeah, if you're a teacher, go get a shot, man. What the fuck, man? I don't know how you're doing it.
This is water.
I don't do the kids. I barely like mine. I kid. I love my children. I tolerate other people's. The rule in the Biggs house is if I can't talk to your kids the way I talk to my kids, they're not welcome. Because they have to be able to handle Molly's honesty.
I'll just warn them before they meet you.
I honestly think out of the 2 of your kids, Sam's just going to be like, yes.
He'll say Aunt Molly is crazy.
It's other, because, you know, Sam's got that little spark of chaos, and my chaos draws other mini chaoses. Yeah. Like, my friend Hillary, we've talked about Hillary before, her youngest, Avery. Avery and I have a very special bond, and Avery is very special, and special to me, and like all her kids are special to me, but Avery is very much a leader. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to me, she falls back in the pack, and Hillary's always like, you know, it's because she respects the alpha. It's just because I'm a little bit more aggressive than she is. That's all.
Well, we're 13 minutes in and we've done jack shit. So
good. I'm glad we're back on schedule. Synopsis. Luke, a fundraiser for CRAP, CRAPP, a charity for dung beetles, has been in the tabloids one too many times for the charity's posh donors' liking. Oliver, a slightly uptight solicitor, needs a date for his parents' anniversary party. Both need a fake boyfriend for different reasons. As they go along their way, they slowly fall in love for real, like any good fake date trope does. Along the way, we meet rock star absent fathers, best friends who are married with the same name, and we get to go to a lot of fancy events.
Yes.
Did I miss anything?
I guess it'll come out in discussion.
Literally, it'll come out because this is a pride book.
That's not what I meant, but okay.
Let's get started. Luke, how you say his name, has quite an interest.
I tried to look it up because he mentions in the book that he doesn't like, he can tell when someone adds the K to Luke. Luke?
Luke?
Yeah, it's French. I don't know.
know.
Whatever. I don't speak French.
Anyways, They say Luke in the audiobook. Luke.
Okay, well then we're going with Luke.
Which, the narrator's so good in this. I will tag.
I was taken back by that name because of Addie LaRue. Fuck that book. Anyway, go ahead.
Luke has quite an interesting life. Parents that are current/former famous musicians, a life that is in the tabloids, a job working for a strange... I put tabloid, but I didn't mean tabloid. Let's try this again. Luke has an interesting life. Parents that are current or former musicians, a life in the tabloids, and a job working for one of the strangest fundraising I've ever heard of. Mm-hmm. Do you think he is a believable main character?
So I liked Luke a lot. Okay. I think that sometimes there were parts that I was like, okay, I know we're going to talk about the mental health stuff later, but there were parts that I was like, okay, I get it, bro. You're depressed. You hate yourself. Like, I get it. But I really
the self-deprecating stuff.
Yeah, he was so self-deprecating to a point that I was like, okay, well, that's enough of that.
Right.
But
I get it though. I got it. Like his inner monologue was very similar to mine at that age.
Yeah. I mean, it's still similar to mine now. I mean, 40. I think he was really likable. There were parts of his story that I had difficulty believing. Like, he never met his father. Like, to me, that was like, but he's famous. Like,
I mean, I lived
you and your mom were never like.
I lived in the same small town as my dad, and after my 16th birthday, I kind of never interacted with him ever again.
But that's different. We're talking about they had never met. Like, that's just weird to me. But anyway, I thought his job was funny. Like, I don't know. I did find him believable as a character. Honestly, I found
you
Oliver.
think his life is realistic, though?
Yes. I thought Oliver's life was less realistic. But as the story goes on and we realize why Oliver is the way that he is, then I was like, oh, okay, now he makes more sense. Right. But I think because the story is told from Luke's perspective, we feel wrapped up in his story and wrapped up in
sure.
I mean, I definitely believed him. Like, I believed that this was a real fundraiser nonsense.
It felt like somebody we would know. Right?
Yeah.
This wasn't. Sometimes when you get a main character like this in a romantic setting like this, they have some abstract job or some weird ass like hobby or something that just makes the character a little less believable than. But like, he's depressed. He goes out to bars. He has a job that he's not sure how he got, but he's just praying he doesn't lose. Like, that is a realistic lifeline, right?
Yeah. I mean, even if his job is fundraising for crack.
For dung beetles.
Like, I don't know. I liked him. There were aspects of him that felt very cliche. I mean, they set that up with the cover, right? So he's going to be the dark and twisty one. He's in all black and he's got like the darker features. And then Oliver's going to be the more upstanding
posh
one. Who's like, he's posh and he's
respectable.
Yeah. And he's the blonde, of course. And like, that's just kind of cliche, like that pairing. But no, I mean, I don't know. I found him believable. I liked him as a character. I liked hearing the story from his point of view. I think his life is one that like everyone would be like, how is this your life? Like if he was a real person, because like,
but it's like, apples and oranges here, but anytime you hear I have like another accident, like I've fallen again, and I tell you the whole story and you're like, how does this keep happening to you, Molly? Right? Like, I fell down 3 stairs in Pearland and had 2 full leg casts.
Yeah. I remember,
you know what I mean?
Because we had to change our trip to come see you.
Right. Like,
because you were broken.
Right. Like, it really is sometimes life is just, some people just have unbelievable things happen in real life.
Yeah. It's true.
It's true. This book touches on mental health without really saying. Yeah. Luke's apartment, his life pre-Oliver, Oliver's relationship with his parents, Luke's relationship with his father. Do you think this was a good choice for the author? Should he have been more direct about it?
No, I mean, I think the way that he covered it was the way mental health is accurate. like it, sometimes it's not portrayed the way that it actually is. Like,
right. I mean, look at the scene.
He also was using substances. And so, like, I'm not talking about the alcohol. He was using substances as well. So he was self-medicating. He was not taking care of himself. I have an anxiety disorder. I've never been quiet about that. Sometimes it's my superpower, but sometimes my anxiety disorder can lead to me spiraling into depression, which is just a really fun place to be, where you're hyper anxious and like also depressed.
Fun. Like, we're using air quotes with the word fun. Yeah,
it's real hard. And when I lived alone, so pre-Tom, and I had a bout of anxiety that resulted in depression. My apartment was a disaster. Right. There were food containers everywhere. Like, it was really problematic because I couldn't care for myself. I couldn't care for my apartment.
Right.
And so I think that the way it's represented is more realistic than the way that it's sometimes represented.
Well, sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say that the one thing that did bother me about Luke's depression was that he didn't heal on his own. He didn't do the work.
He needed a person to heal him.
Yeah.
He needed somebody else to show him he was valuable. And
I
sometimes that's what it takes.
Right. Well, I definitely think that, like, I got healthier after Tom came around because, like, I had somebody who was showing me, like, love and respect.
Yeah.
Right. But I was also doing the work. Like, I was in therapy and I was, taking meds, and Luke didn't do the work. Like, he didn't do any of it. He just,
you have to do both.
He just decided that Oliver was embarrassed of him. And if he didn't want him to be embarrassed of him, he was going to have to do these things. And that's why when their relationship got a little rocky at one point, he didn't take care of the apartment still, because he wasn't doing the work for himself. He was doing it for Oliver.
Right.
Which is not really how you can heal. Like, you can't wrap yourself in somebody else, because if that falls apart, you have to do the work.
Right.
Sorry. That was a long story.
I was going to say, near the end of the book, spoilers, when Oliver dumps him and Luke goes running to him and he dumps this whole thing about how he loves Oliver as is, right? And he blurts out that he goes, "I think you have an eating disorder." That is so realistic. How many times have we been in a brain dump and we're like, "Hey, I think you have depression, you need to take care of yourself." Like,
right.
It's very much very realistic on how we people handle it in the real world, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, I think Luke's boss, the doctor, the bug doctor, the anthrologist or whatever they're called, is autistic. The way she talks to people, like, she literally goes, "You're not interesting. I'm going to go talk to them." Right?
She's definitely neurodivergent, and I would agree. She probably Asperger's, which is not a term that we use in this country anymore, but it is a term that is used in other countries. I'm not sure if the UK still uses it, but
it used to be a diagnosis. It's no longer a diagnosis.
What?
It used to be a diagnosis tool, but no longer used as a diagnosis tool.
In this country.
Yeah.
But it comes with heightened intelligence.
Yeah.
And but just really bad social skills. So it's like Sheldon.
Right. Sometimes it's a little bit more extreme. A good portrayal of it, I think, anyways, is Parenthood. The boy Max on Parenthood. He has Asperger's.
I have only seen like half of an episode of Parenthood.
What?
I tried twice.
That show is so good. I fell in love with Dax Shepard on that show. I didn't like him as an actor till I saw him in a serious role.
The only thing that he had done before that was
Idiocracy, and it was hilarious. Without a paddle, Punked.
I was thinking of Punked.
Yeah, and Without a Paddle, Punked, Let's Go to Jail, Zathura.
The only thing I knew him on was Punked.
I know way too much about Dax Shepard, is what we're learning here now.
It's not cute. I don't know what
it's not about cute. It's... I don't... Like... fun fact, kids, about Molly. I don't go by male actors on who I think is hot or not. Like, it's always on their personality and who I think I'd be friends with. Because I always grew up one of the boys. So, like, when I, like, judge an actor, I'm like, hey, he's hilarious. Like, I don't get the whole Jason Momoa, how everybody's super attracted to him. I think he's hilarious. I think he'd be a hell of a time to be around, but I don't find him attractive. I don't understand what the big fuss is.
He's not attractive.
Everybody thinks so.
He just has a lot of muscles.
I don't think so. Okay.
I like geeky guys that have dark hair and brown eyes, and so
husband.
Zachary Levi. Also my husband.
Husband, yeah.
I should probably
husband then Zachary Levi.
He does edit our podcast. I should probably include him in the list.
It's a note. We talk about tropes a lot when it comes to romance books. Sometimes we like it.
You have to, because like that's the point.
We like it, and other times we don't. Mm-hmm. I think we can agree this time it works. But what makes this book different than the others that we haven't linked? Because we've seen the fake date trope and we've tore those books apart.
Okay, so the fake date trope the first fake date trope that we covered on this pod was the Jasmine Gilroy the
wedding date.
The wedding date. I didn't like that because I didn't think the writing was good. Now, she has a lot more books now, and people really like her, so maybe, I love her. Maybe it was just that because that was her first one.
It was her debut novel.
But the second fake date we did was the love hypothesis, or the kiss quotient. And I really liked that.
What was Love Hypothesis after
Love
that?
Hypothesis was third. And, I mean, we both loved that.
Yeah.
So I think when you do a fake dating, you know that the inevitable is going to happen. They're going to fall in love with each other. That is the cliche, and that's what's going to happen. But it's about how the author writes them falling in love. This story to me reminded me of other stories, but didn't feel derivative at all. Like, it felt fresh.
It did. It is an original take on it.
Yeah, and it didn't feel like in some ways, it's not just fake dating. In some ways, it was a little bit of enemies to lovers because they had But it was
also the miscommunication trope, right?
It was also
come to find out, like, Oliver always liked him and Luke always liked him, but they always thought the other didn't like them, and it was just
right. Well, the problem is that neither one of them likes themselves,
right?
And so, I mean, that's the
self-loathing brings us together. Sweet.
Depression makes the world go round.
Luke has a gaggle of friends from work and his personal life. Do you have anybody that's your favorite?
So
I meant to write their names down and I forgot.
So my favorite friend of his is Bridget, just because I think she's just a basket case. Her character reminded me of a character from the Bridget Jones movies, not the Bridget Jones books, but the Bridget Jones movies.
Uh-huh.
And then her being named Bridget, it contributed to that. So she's just really quirky and funny, and she just does not have her shit together, and I just love that about her. My favorite character in the book that wasn't Oliver or Luke was Alex. He's a fucking moron.
Nothing going on in there, man. I mean, hollow.
Molly. He loses the patron, whatever
and
the fuck.
He's looking in the bushes.
He's looking in a potted plant. Not the bushes. A potted plant. And then Luke is like, why are you looking in a potted plant? And he's like, well, you shouldn't judge me. I found him. He's right over there. He was with Luke, and Luke brought him to Alex. Alex is looking in a potted plant. Oh my god.
Okay, what about also I love Alex. Let's just do an Alex appreciation. Okay.
He's such a mess.
The interrupting cow joke, right? Okay.
Yes.
So then he breaks that down and then he and then his girlfriend thinks that he's gotten a fake boyfriend for himself.
Yes.
Why? Why would Alex need a fake boyfriend? Oh wait, they're engaged. Wait, they don't know.
But then when Muffy, whatever her name is, whenever she says that it's his fake boyfriend,
it's brilliant. It's a great idea. I love it.
Luke is like, he's my fake boyfriend, not Alex's. And then Alex is like, what do you mean? It was my idea. Why don't I get it? Like,
bro, you need a fake boyfriend?
You don't need a fake boyfriend. You're straight and engaged to this chick.
Are we engaged? I don't know if we're engaged. Sounds like we're engaged. Yes,
it's fine. My favorite joke of the whole book. I've got to, can I find it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to find it because I didn't
while you're looking for that,
tabbing.
I like in there, so his Luke's gaggle of friends, like his immediate friends, his LGBTQ plus friends, they have a WhatsApp group and they changed the name of the group right now. Like at the beginning of the book, it's called Queer Comes the Sun. And then like as it goes on, like there was like Luke Impossible and like on and on. It's just, they're so good. It's so funny.
Here's the part.
Are you gonna make it?
I'm not even gonna be able to get through it. Okay. Okay. Ha! Okay. I can do it. A man walks into a bar and he sits down and there's a bowl of peanuts. And a voice comes from the bowl of peanuts saying, hey, your hair looks great. And then this other voice comes from the cigarette machine on the other side of the bar saying, no, it doesn't. You look like a prick and so does your mom. Alex's eyes widen. Oh, I say, that's a bit much. Yeah, keep that in mind because it's sort of integral to the joke. Anyway, the man asks the barman, what's going on? And the barman says, don't worry, the nuts are complimentary, but the cigarette machine's out of order. Well, I suppose they wouldn't have bothered to fix it because you're not allowed to smoke in pubs anymore. And he says, I should have seen this coming. You're right, Alex. It's the accuracy that makes it funnier. I mean, I had to read it to Tom because it was so funny. It's the accuracy that makes it funnier.
I mean, like, he has just... It is so, this book is so funny. Like, and it's not just the jokes. Like, this author wrote in 2 gay men who have the exact same name, who are married.
They're married to each other. They had the same first and last name, and when they got married, they hyphenated their last name.
Like, it's so great. It's so great. Like,
oh my gosh.
What is it called? I can't find it. What is their names?
I have had a hard day. This laughing is fun for me. Royce or something like that.
James Royce. Because they have the same last name. So they were both James, and they hyphenated Royce.
So they were both James Royce, and then they got married and became James Royce. So Luke just refers to them as the James Royce Royces.
I mean,
oh my god!
Matthew and I have the same initials and the same middle name. I'm Joe. He's Joseph. Not as weird, but that's weird adjacent.
That's not the same.
Potato, tomato. I did work with a guy who his last name was Peterson and his wife's name was Peterson, and they got married, and she just kept her spelling of Peterson, not his spelling of Peterson.
Oh my gosh, that's confusing.
I know. Okay.
So did you have a favorite character?
I like his mom. I love Luke's mom.
Hey, did the audiobook narrator do a French accent?
Yes!
So I read this one. I know you listened to it, so.
Yes. Oh, he did all the voices. It was fantastic.
Nice.
Luke's relationship with his father becomes a plot point, which it's cliche for him to have a bad relationship with his father.
Yeah.
What about his relationship with his mother did you like? Do you think she's bi?
Those are 2 very different questions.
I know, but I grouped them together because I was trying to consolidate.
Are you in a hurry? Do you not have time to sit with me today?
Have you met me? I'm always in a hurry. Listen to the way I talk.
It's true. So I liked his mom. I thought it was funny how how she just like would just put shit out there. Like it was really funny. I like their relationship.
Bananas and curry.
Yeah. Awful curry.
Her special curry.
I mean, I don't like curry in general, but don't be putting bananas up in there. Like, no, what are you doing?
And she explains it away like some other dish uses bananas, so it's okay.
Yeah. Okay, I do not think she was bi. I did kind of question that, but I think she would have been honest with him because she's not quiet about her sexuality, and she's lets him be honest about his, and she says something about being French, and so she can get it where she wants it.
Oh, my favorite thing is okay. So, his mom is asking him to come for the curry dinner, and he's like, "Mom, I can't come to the curry dinner. It hurts to eat it. My bum hurts." And she goes, "For a gay man, you're really sensitive about your asshole." I died.
I just feel like
I died of embarrassment for him, and he's a fictional character.
Like, I feel like as honest as she was, that like she would have been honest about that.
Yes.
I think her best friend and her are just like weird
hetero life mates, or not hetero. I mean, her best friend's a lesbian, but platonic life mates. Yeah, she's made it clear that she's married men, but she's a lesbian.
Oh well, then maybe the mom is bisexual.
Yeah. Because her mom makes a statement about like it's just about at her age it's about love. It's not about anything else.
Well, I mean, it's very Christina and Meredith.
Right.
Like, you're my person.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. So let's talk about his dad. I feel like I've read the cliche of gay man has bad relationship with his father one too many times when it comes to fiction. And while this is very true, and I'm not trying to take away the experience of a gay man having a terrible relationship with their father, I just feel like it's just a cliche that is written to make drama, right? Like, I don't know.
I just feel like I don't like it when people make an excuse for someone's sexuality.
Right.
And that's sort of how it feels.
And I want to talk about Oliver's parents in a second.
I really had an issue with that whole story anyway, because
his dad lying about having cancer and like...
I mean, like, okay. I just feel like every time his dad would talk to him, I felt like music was playing, like a sad, sappy...
Like, violin.
My life is over, and
I just want to know who you are. I just want to know who you are.
And it was all bullshit because he bounced when he realized he wasn't dying.
Oh, I'm not dying anymore. I don't care.
So you don't want to keep trying to repair this relationship?
Right.
Like, you learned nothing.
Yeah.
I'll be interested
after your
to
fake
see
cancer scare.
I'll be interested to see how he plays in the next book. Yeah. Because I don't think they're going to not include him.
I definitely want to add it to season 3 or 4. Because
I mean, the only problem with doing that is like we don't usually do sequels unless we do it in the same episode. But listen, I'm down.
Unless Alexis Hall wants to come on. I mean,
yeah,
you're welcome, sir.
I did ask him today. I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I would have to check on Instagram, but I don't remember what his pronouns are, so we might be misgendering him.
Oops, so bad.
If we are,
my bad. I apologize. I just assumed. Let me Google it because I want to fuck up.
I couldn't even find a picture of Alexis Hall. Like I was.
It says his in the Wikipedia. It says Alexis Hall is an English author of urban fantasy, science fiction, and M romance, man on man. His novels include For Real, Glitterland, Iron and Velvet, Looking for Groups, and Pansies. This is from Wikipedia, and it definitely.
We all know how accurate Wikipedia is.
I know.
Let's see. He has a Twitter.
Anyways, I'm not trying to misgender or.
Oh, he, him, any.
Okay,
that's what his Twitter says.
So
So
Alexis,
we're okay. We're allowed to say he.
I mean, we might stare a little bit with your fancy accent, but
I will do all the staring with your fancy accent. Listen, I don't even care. I'll just be like, talk British to me.
Maybe
the fact that I lived in England for 6 months and didn't make out with anyone is a great tragedy of my life.
Agreed.
It really is.
Agreed.
It really is.
So you want more questions?
I mean, I guess. What else are we doing here?
Oliver is very reserved. I think that's an understatement.
Yeah.
As we slowly get to know him, we can see where and why this is what.
Go ahead. Well, okay, let me tell you this. I had a really hard time not picturing Oliver and Luke as no, go ahead and ask the question, and then I'll tell you. Okay, I'm blanking on what I wanted to say.
Sorry. Oliver is reserved. As we slowly get to know him, we can see where and why he is this way. Let's talk about the behavior of his parents and his brother, too. Do you think this shaped him?
Sure. I definitely think so. And I think that, I really feel like his parents are abusive, and not in the way that they were beating him.
And they're homophobic.
Like he makes a point to say, like, my parents never abused me, they never hurt me, but like
they did everything for me. That's always a rationale of kids that, like, if you've grown up in poverty, you explain away parents' bad behavior by saying, well, they gave me everything. They worked so hard for me.
But so he didn't grow up in poverty.
No, but we explain away verbal abuse for when we feel like our parents have sacrificed for us. In Oliver's case, his mother gave up her career. So every time he goes to defend his mom, well, she gave up everything for me, so I have to do this for her. Like, giving up who you are or letting her talk about you in a homophobic way is acceptable because she gave up her career 40 years ago. I call bullshit.
It's definitely not. And this goes back to what I said earlier, that I think that they both have a lot of self-loathing. And I mean, I don't know that Oliver necessarily had an eating disorder because I feel like we don't have enough context for that. No. But he definitely, he's trying to be someone that he really isn't. Like,
he wants to be who his parents want him to be.
Right. I was actually kind of concerned that he was so rigid that it was going to be like a 50 Shades of Grey situation where, like, Christian is like really, really rigid because he's like a freak. Right. Like his bedroom activities are very...
Right. Well, and the BDSM community have real issues with 50 Shades of Grey because...
Well, they do because he's not doing it because he enjoys that as his sexual lifestyle. He's doing it because, and I quote from the book, I like hurting girls that look like my mother. Brown-haired girls that look like my mother. So I don't blame them for not liking that. But for me, that's what I was kind of worried about, that Oliver was going to have this, like, he was so reserved that he had this, like, really, like...
dark secret bullshit going on.
Secret. Yeah. And it turns out that the dark secret is family shit, which I actually like. Although, I mean, I wouldn't have hated it if it took, like, a naughty bedroom twist. This book is disappointingly cut to black. Like, that is my biggest critique of this book is, like, we waited...
I got it for you.
Thank you. We waited so long for them to kiss. And then when they're actually, like, you know,
doing the things. Yeah.
When they're, like, doing the things, we get, like, Luke talking about Oliver, like, being on top of him and, like, feeling the weight of his body. But it's not, like, necessarily sexual. It's just that, like, he's on top of him, almost like in a wrestling way. And then we don't actually get the sex.
I'm wondering if that was an editorial choice or if it was an author's choice on his style.
Well, and I don't have context because I've never read anything else by Alexis Hall. So I don't have context, but, like, Casey McQuiston gave us, like,
steam.
Well, although I did talk about this with Katie last week.
I've heard.
We have there's a little cut to black in that too. And listen, authors that are writing male romance, like, give the girls what they want. Like, we want the penis.
I mean, I could take it or leave it.
Okay, girls. Well, maybe it's just this girl.
I mean, there's girls like you. I'm just saying it's not all.
Listen, don't put me in a category because I'm not saying that like I'm interested in that. I'm just saying if I'm going to read a romance.
That's not what I was saying.
I'm just saying if I'm going to read a romance novel, like especially if it's a slow burn, like I want the sex.
Right.
Okay, so what I was going to say earlier, I had a really hard time not picturing Luke and Oliver as a retelling of Bridget Jones, where Luke was a young Hugh Grant and Oliver was a young Colin Firth.
I love it.
And
like,
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I don't know. Luke doesn't have that nervous befuddly thing going, though, that Hugh Grant does. Like, he
does.
We'll agree to disagree.
I don't know. I just think like there's some homoerotic like wrestling happening in Bridget Jones.
I'm sure
they like, literally slap each other.
Hey,
like, come on.
I'm sure there is fanfic out there on Reddit somewhere of Colin Firth and Bridget Jonesy stuff. Just send it April's way.
I love Colin Firth.
Luke makes a stink about Oliver only having straight friends. What did you think about this?
I mean, I don't really have a judgment on this. I guess I feel like it's helpful to have friends that are within like the same community as you. But like, to me, I don't know. My friend circle is a weird net. Because
say word.
Like you and I are best friends, and we don't have that much in common. The interesting fact is, we have weird things in common. Like I still think we're related. We both like books. We like a lot of the same type of books, except that
we love the same TV shows and movies.
Right, but like
our history is our childhood is very similar.
But like, yeah, but like the way that the world divides people, like for example, by religion or by
political
affiliation, like we shouldn't be friends.
And no. But and then, we respect each other in that sense.
Right.
Right?
And then I have other friends who should like by that division, I should have a closer relationship with them. And they're really just like they're not in the circle. You know what I mean? Like they're friends, but they're not friends that I'm gonna like tell all my secrets to. Except I guess through a podcast that they can listen to.
I mean, I know all the secrets. I know where the bodies are. But that's also because you know where my bodies are, right? You know all my secrets.
Right. Like, I just think it's interesting because what the fuck was the question, Molly? I totally forgot.
We were talking about Oliver. Luke made a big stink about Oliver having only straight friends.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess I feel like you need friends that, like, understand your viewpoints, but I don't feel like those need to be your only friends. Like, Luke needed some friends who were outside of his circle. The only one he had was Bridget, and her long-term boyfriend was bisexual, so I'm not sure.
Who was also Luke's boyfriend at one time.
That's a bit awkward.
I mean, from what I understand, that happens a lot. Like, I have friends that are lesbians, and dating a girl and then her ended up dating one of your friends and y'all are just cool happens. Like, it is very common in the alphabet mafia, the LGBTQ plus community, to date and then just be like, it didn't work, but we're still friends.
I would say I think it's probably common in all orientations because
I don't know. I'm friends with a lot of my exes.
I know, that's weird to me.
I don't think so.
But like, let's use
people
the Coast
love me.
Let's use the Coast Guard as an example. We know people who know people who knew other people who knew other people.
Right. So, they did the things they shouldn't have done, and like, yeah. The crossover's there, right?
Well, and there's also that one base in California with all the rumors about it. So.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we ever get a live show, we'll tell that story.
I don't know that we will.
I mean, it's not our story to tell, but
it's not our story to tell. Neither one of us have been stationed there.
I mean, but I know the things. Anyway, was there anything in this story story that surprised you? What was the most predictable part?
I mean, it was predictable that they got together. Yeah. There really wasn't a surprise. I took an issue a little bit with the ending.
I did too. Okay, I have beef with the ending.
All right, just go ahead and interrupt me.
It's fine. Sorry. Sorry. Continue.
I feel like I've hogged a lot of the podcast this
That's
week
okay.
Anyway, so
that's okay.
I took an issue with the ending because I would have preferred for Luke. I was fine with Luke going to Durham or wherever he went, and realizing that Oliver wasn't there. But I would have been, but I wanted him to go home. I wanted Oliver to be the one that made the effort. I don't think that we needed Luke making the effort and Oliver turning him down, and then Oliver showing up the next day. Oliver needed to give, but Luke didn't need to. That part in the middle didn't need to be there.
It felt flat. Does that make sense? Yeah. I expected Oliver to show up there, but I really wanted an angry lesbian to come down and yell at him for waking her up. Or
I didn't want her to be there at all because she's awful. That's the worst of his friends.
Oh, I like her. I kind of get her in a cellular level, but that's beside the point. I feel like if the way how flat that ending was, I feel like we should have gotten a small jump forward. Like, even 2 weeks later, and they're at brunch with their friends or something, just something.
Yeah, I could have done with that. I'm glad they didn't do the fucking marriage cliche.
Oh, well, maybe we don't know. That'll lead me into.
Well, I mean, it is called husband
material, which comes out August 2nd.
But what I mean by that cliche is that, how in The Wedding Date, they got engaged at the end of the book. No.
Right.
No. And they did that in Kiss Quotient. No. Mm-hmm. But Love Hypothesis jumped ahead, and it was a year, and they weren't engaged. Right. They were just together.
Right.
I could have done okay with that.
Right.
But I am... August 2nd is the day it comes out, right?
August 2nd
just a couple days before your birthday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, I've already pre-ordered it. I was hella disappointed when I went on Amazon and realized it wasn't out yet. Because, I said last week that it was already out. I thought it was. And I'm super disappointed because I need more of Luke and Oliver in my life.
I do too.
I need more of them in my life.
Overall, they are my new favorite boys.
Oh, man. Alex and Henry, though.
I don't know. They're up there with Alex and Henry.
Alex and Henry are...
you have a couple notes on here you wanted to share?
Yeah, I guess.
Do you want me to say them or you want to dive into them?
Well, I already said why was this cut to black. I wanted the spice.
Right.
Okay. I love that Luke's name is Lucien.
Yes.
Only Oliver can call him.
Oliver say it. Yes. And I thought that was very sweet.
He says it. It's when he says it that Luke talks about how he gets the chills and he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing when Oliver says Lucien.
Lucien. He knows. And it's so stern and just precise. You need to hear it in the book, in the audiobook. Whew. Lucien. He says it with this. And it's yes, sir.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I want to know how the fuck, this was big for me, how the fuck is Bridget in both friend groups, and yet all of the Luke's friend group had met Oliver, but none of Oliver's friend group had met Luke. But Bridget's friends with both of them, so why wouldn't she have invited all of them to the same party?
I think Bridget is an outside friend in Oliver's group, right? She's friends with them because of Oliver. And the reason Luke's friends have met Oliver is because of Bridget. And they're more open and spend more time out while Oliver's friends are more reserved, stay home, and do less of the things.
I needed them to explain to me how Bridget became friends with each of them.
I love her so much. She could have her own novelette. I would love it so much. She always has something chaotic going on. Oh my God, I'm fired. No, it's just a fire. I gotta go.
She is so ADHD that
I relate to her very much so.
I know you do. And yeah, I mean, that was really all that I had. I just wanted to talk about the daily jokes with Alex.
Oh my God. There is it's so many funny little things
in here. He's so dumb. Molly, he looks for somebody in a potted plant. He's so dumb.
This book has
Oh, but we didn't talk about the other dumb guy who works in the office who burns himself on the coffee pot every day. And so Alex keeps an aloe plant.
Okay, what I don't understand
is the social media chair and made a hashtag that was like a whole fucking sentence.
I don't understand. Out of all these idiot people, Alex is the one on the chopping block. Not Alex. Luke is the one on the chopping blocks for getting fired. And it's like, y'all.
Yeah, well, also, he didn't have enough self-respect to want to fight the fact that that he was basically going to be fired because he was gay. Like, that's why he was going to be fired. Right. Also, we didn't talk about this, but like, we didn't talk about this, but I
want to pull up my notes for
the first guy that Alex hooks up with at the beginning of the book does end up selling his story, and
which is awful.
And the reason that Luke is gun shy in a relationship is because of the fact that his long-term boyfriend sold their story to tabloids, which is just awful. Just awful. Can I read you another part that has me dying? Okay. So Luke has a email conversation with Barbara, who's the office manager.
Yeah.
Dear Luke, I've been looking at the costings of the hotel, and I'm wondering if we really need it. Kind regards, Barbara. Dear Barbara, yes, it's where we're having the event. Kind regards, Luke. Dear Luke, I've been thinking about that and was wondering if it wouldn't be more practical for donors to remain at home and contribute by telephone during a pre-approved window. Kind regards, Barbara. Dear Barbara, I appreciate your commitment to helping the Beetle Drive run smoothly. Unfortunately, the invitations have already been printed and the event has been advertised as a dinner and dance and not as a stay at home and phone us maybe. The cost of the hotel should be more than covered by the ticket price. Kind regards, Luke. Dear Luke, could we at least choose a cheaper hotel? Kind regards, Barbara. Dear Barbara, no. Kind regards, Luke. Dear Luke, I consider your last email inappropriately curt. I would take this matter up with Human Resources Department, but we don't have one. Kind regards, Barbara. P.S. Thank you for raising a requisition. Thank you for raising a requisition request for a new stapler. The requisition has been denied. Dear Barbara, perhaps you could ask the office manager if we could release sufficient resources to hire a Human Resources Department. Maybe I could also borrow a stapler from them. Kind regards, Luke. Dear Luke, there is no room in the workplace for facetiousness. I refer you to last month's memo on the new paper fastening policy. For financial and environmental reasons, we are requiring all documents to be bound with recyclable treasury tags. We expect these to be reused whenever possible. Kind regards, Barbara. Dear Barbara, please pay the hotel. The manager just called me and we are at risk of losing the room. Kind regards, Luke. P.S. We have run out of treasury tags. Dear Luke, if you've run out of treasury tags, please submit a requisition report. Kind regards, Barbara. And then he goes to get coffee and decides to be nice. And he sends her an email and says, would you like... Please, Barbara, please forgive my earlier rudeness. I'm making a round of teas and coffees in the office. Would you like one, Luke? Dear Luke, no. Kind regards, Barbara. I just was laughing through the whole thing.
Okay, so one of the stupid things Alex said that we forgot about was he had read Harry Potter 36 times, and by the time he got done with it, he had forgotten he had read it.
I just spit my water out. Like, I spit my water out. If you want to talk about people that I don't believe are real, it's everybody that works with him. Why is he the only functioning adult in that office?
There is this line when they go to meet Luke's dad, and he goes, and the lady goes, just sit there and be quiet. And Luke goes, there goes my plane to scream and lick the furniture. And then,
oh my gosh.
There was one more. The Dick Pics. We need to talk about the Dick Pics before we end today.
Yeah.
So, Luke is very, very into Oliver's body.
Yeah.
And he talks about the V-cut. He's very into it. And Luke jokes with him, asking him if he's going to send him dick pics.
Yeah.
And we all know Oliver's a respectable guy. He absolutely will not send dick pics.
He will not send dick pics.
But he does send pictures of Richard.
Yes, many different Richards, including Dick Cheney.
Which, you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to just send a dick pic to Katie right now while we're on.
Oh my gosh.
And
man.
It is just so hilarious.
Like I feel like the tone of our pod has changed because now we're just reading favorite parts of this book and look, just go get the book. Support Alexis Hall. It's so good, guys. It's so good. It's so good. I gave it a 5 out of 5, which y'all know I don't do.
You don't do.
It didn't count for any of the books on the challenge that we do that I have left. So that I just posted a review on our challenge group. Like, hey, this doesn't count for anything, but everybody needs to read this book. Then I posted it on my personal Facebook page, which I don't ever share book reviews on there because that's why I have a Goodreeds. And oh my gosh, guys, it's so
just
good.
Get this book. Go get this book.
Come back. Just pre-order the sequel because you're going to want it.
You're going to want it. You're just going to want it. Do it at the same time. It's worth it.
Do it.
Final thoughts.
I loved it. I cannot wait for the next book.
Okay, so next week is Guncle. I literally picked this up just because of its cover. I thought it was going to be this light.
It has shelf appeal. It really does.
It does. It is a little bit more intense than I was expecting.
It's heavy, but it's wrapped in... It's laughter through tears, which is my favorite emotion.
I know.
And so it's good. I'm 2 hours away from the audiobook, finishing the audiobook. The audiobook is narrated by the author. I love that. I love it.
He is doing such a great job. I'm about halfway. Katie just texts back, Dick Cheney. Katie, I'm not going to say anything till you hear this on Tuesday.
You will find out. Molly, she'll be listening to this as we're telling her we need to go. We need to end this episode.
It's getting late.
Oh my gosh. I'm so tired.
Next week, Guncle. We'll see you guys next time.
Hey, after Guncle, we're taking a 2-week break. Don't forget, we'll take a 2-week break and then we'll be back with season 3.
All right, till next time, guys. Bye! Thank you for joining us on Book Besties. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The views discussed here are those of Molly and April, not those of anyone else. Today's book was Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. Your Book Besties are Molly Biggs and April Watkins. Editing by Thomas Watkins, and music is Sleep Sweetly by Brigida. Don't forget to follow the Book Besties on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. If you'd like to contact the Book Besties, please email us at bookbestiespod@gmail.com.